Good morning everyone and welcome to another week of development. So another busy week coming up. I've got to get the visual effects stuff pretty much done this week. I want to move on to the attack editor next week. I've also got a tutorial that I need to do before Saturday, so I'll be doing that probably on Tuesday afternoon and Saturday. And of course I need to continue preparing for the Kickstarter as well. So I've just been finalising my plans for the visual effects update, and the visual effects system is going to be split into two parts. The first part, which I'm going to start working on in a minute, is the rendering side of things, all the OpenGL code needed to actually render one of these effects onto the screen, and each effect is going to have things like a position, the textures that it uses, how much the textures should be blended together, the colour of the effects, the overall transparency and stuff like that. And the rendering side of things will take all of this information about the effect and then render that effect onto the screen. And then the other side of things is in the Java code, all the logic stuff that's going to actually animate the effect and decide which textures it's using and how much they should be blended together and animate the colour and change the transparency over time and stuff like that. So for the rest of the morning I've just been planning out the rendering side of the visual effects update. And I've got into the code a bit. I've just been planning out this simple class here. But I'm going to stop for lunch now, and then this afternoon I'm going to get right into the rendering process, and hopefully by the end of the day I'll be rendering some simple effects. So this afternoon I've just been setting up a very basic rendering system for these effects. So I've got a very simple vertex and fragment shader going, and then in the game you can see that I've tested it out here. All I'm doing is I'm rendering a simple quad with a texture on it, and it's always set to face the camera. So nothing exciting yet, but now that I've got the basic rendering system set up, I can start to add all of the features that I want to the rendering system, and so that's what I'm doing now, and that's what I'll continue to do probably tomorrow as well. So to finish off today, I just added a couple more features into the rendering system for the effects, so you can now choose the colour and the transparency of the effect, and you can see that here in the game. So I've coloured it a cyan colour here. It's not very visible, but you get the idea. So yeah, I'm finished programming for today, and this evening I'm just going to do a bit of planning for the Kickstarter and answering emails and stuff. So to finish off the day, I've just been trying something that I've wanted to do for quite a long time, and that's to have a kind of glowing effect to the lamps in the game, and I'm just testing that out here with some of the effects that I programmed today. It is Tuesday morning, and today I'm going to be hopefully finishing off the rendering side of the visual effects update, and I also need to start planning this week's tutorial. So it's been a pretty productive morning so far. As you can see, I've been working on the texture rendering features of this effect rendering engine. So here I've got two different textures, or two different parts of the same texture. It's actually a texture map, texture atlas, as you can see here, and one of them is scrolling across the other. And you can change how much they're blended together by changing the blend factor. You can change their offsets, allowing them to scroll over each other, and I'm just about to start working on allowing textures to be rotated. So I'm just stopping for lunch. It's been a pretty productive morning though. As you can see, I've got the rotation stuff to work, and what I've got here is I've actually got two textures rendering onto this one quad. One of the textures is scrolling across to the left and the other one is rotating, and to do this obviously I couldn't just rotate the quad itself, because that would have rotated both of the textures, and I want them to be able to move independently of each other. So I've actually used rotation matrices to actually rotate the UV texture coordinates of the image. So this afternoon I've just been preparing for Saturday's tutorial, which is about clipping planes. So I've just been reminding myself of how they work, and I've also just been implementing clipping planes in the tutorial engine code. So with the Kickstarter fast approaching, I've been trying to make more of an effort to make more weapons for the game on a more regular basis. And so this evening I've made this scythe model. I've just been editing it in the item editor, and now I'm just trying it out in the game, and I'm pretty happy with it. So it is Tuesday, and today I'm going to be moving on to the animation side of the visual effects system. So far this morning I've written some code to create a cylinder, and I'm now testing out cylindrical effects, and as you can see I've almost got this mesh to be created correctly, but not quite. So I'm just about to stop for lunch, but as you can see I have now got the cylindrical effects to work properly, and they're looking very nice, so that's good. This afternoon I've been working on another type of base mesh for these effects, and this effect is going to be perfect for beam effects because it's a quad which always rotates to face the camera, but its rotation is restricted to a certain axis. So I'm just finishing off for today, and I've just finished the final mesh type for these effects, which is this cone effect here. Also, I've been making another weapon for the game, which is this flaming sword, which I've been texturing in Blender. So it is Thursday, and today I'm going to be working on animating the visual effects. So progress has been a little bit slower today. I've just been trying to do all this animation stuff, but there was a bit of a problem with the design about the way I'd structured the code, which I've kind of had to alter, and I've pretty much finished that now, so I can now get properly started with actually animating these effects. So I'm just finishing up for today. It's been a bit of a struggle. Progress has been pretty slow, but I have managed to get some animation working, so you can see the textures changing over time, and also the scale of that quad over there is also being animated and changing over time. So it's a lovely sunny Friday morning, a much nicer day than yesterday, and I'm in a much better mood than yesterday. Yesterday it just felt like I wasn't making much progress and I was getting a bit stuck on some things, but now that it's over I actually realised that I did quite a lot yesterday and it wasn't as bad as I thought. Before I start work on the devlog though, I just wanted to show you how I went about changing the variables of an effect over time, and I did this by using something called drivers. I've got three types of drivers at the moment. The first one is just a constant driver. This just keeps the variable at a certain value for the whole time, so I've just set the X position to always have a value of 6 here. Then I've got a linear driver which changes the value of the variable linearly over time. So this is going to change the radius, it's going to change it from 0 to 10 over the course of 5 seconds, and then it's going to repeat that. And then we've got a sine wave driver which oscillates the value of the variable over time. And so this one here is going to change the height over time in a sine wave kind of fashion between the values of 3 and 8, and it's going to do one repetition of the wave every 4.3 seconds. And so by setting different drivers for all of these different variables, you can really animate the effect however you want. So it's 11:45, I just finished editing all the audio for the devlog together, and now I'm just starting to record all the footage. So I'm just finishing off with the devlog. It took a bit longer today because I had to make the effects look nice, and I had to actually create some effects first, and at the moment I have to hard code that, so that obviously took a little while, but I'm done now. It's about 5:15, so I've still got over an hour to do all the settings on YouTube, so not too much of a rush today. It is 9:30 on Saturday morning, and today I'm of course just going to be spending the whole day working on the tutorial. Also, people have been voting on the name of the game, which is very exciting, and the voting is looking pretty interesting so far. I'm pretty sure that it will be a bit different when I've removed some of the duplicate votes, but we'll have to see. So I've just finished scripting all of my explanations for this video, and now I'm going to go through that and record myself saying it all, and then I'm going to work on doing the footage and any diagrams that are needed. So I just finished the tutorial for today. It's taken a long time today. I've been working on it absolutely all day, but it's finally out now, so that's good. I've also been looking at the voting, and I've created a pie chart after removing all of the duplicate votes, and at the moment Soccer 1 seems to be winning fairly comfortably. So it's 8:30 on a very rainy Monday morning. I didn't record anything yesterday, but I didn't really do much. I was just planning for the Kickstarter and answering emails and stuff, so it wasn't very exciting. But today I'm just going to finish off a couple of things with the effect system, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be moving on to the effect editor. So I've been working on a few things this morning. The first thing was a new type of driver, which is a keyframe driver, which allows you to add a load of keyframes which determine the behavior of a certain value, and I'm using it here to determine the alpha value of the green texture. And also I've been trying to make a couple of new models for the game, so I've been trying to make some tribal staffs. So I'm just taking some time this afternoon to make and texture a couple of new weapons for the game, and I'm just making an icon for the basic tribal staff right now. So just to finish off the day, I put those two staffs into the game, so we've got the basic tribal staff here and also the lesser tribal staff. It is Tuesday, and today I'm just going to be preparing and planning for creating the attack editor tool. So I'm just stopping for lunch. Nothing much to report this morning. I've just been structuring the code so that visual effects work with animations and can be used with entities as well. So I'm going to have a visual effect component for entities, and I've just started work on a visual effect file format. So I'm just finishing programming for today, and I don't seem to have made any progress. I've been actually working really hard this afternoon, but it's just been one of those days where I just don't seem to have got very far, which is always a bit disheartening. But I've got some nice models to texture this evening, so hopefully that will cheer me up. So this week I'm going to try and texture this new armor set that was sent in by Eric Quick, and I've started this evening by texturing the legs. So it is Wednesday, and today I'm going to try and get lots and lots done. I've got my list of things to do here, and I'm going to try my best to get through that whole list today. It's been a pretty productive morning so far. I've just been working on instances of effects and having each instance be able to have its own transformation and rotation and stuff. And I've also just been working on creating the icon for the leg section of that new armor set. So I'm just stopping for lunch now. I've been working on a file format for the visual effects, and as you can see I've been planning it out here, and I've created a test file here, and now I'm just working on programming a parser to read in these visual effect files. So this evening I finished off writing the parser. I've also been texturing the top half of that new armor set, and I've put that in the game along with the legs as well. And at the moment I'm working on the icon for that top section of the armor. So it is a lovely sunny Thursday morning, and today I'm just going to be trying to get as much stuff done as I can before the devlog. So I just finished work on the effect component for entities, and I've used it to give lamps a nice glow in the game. So in the lamps entity file I've added this effect folder, and I've used the new file format to set all the configs for the effect. And then in the game you can see that now all of the lamps, every single instance of this lamp entity now has this glow effect around it. So it's coming up to lunchtime, and I've been working on the profile picture here at the top left. I've been trying to make it an actual 3D rendering of the character, and it's going okay, although there are a couple of rather obvious problems with it. Firstly, it's upside down, which isn't great, and secondly, I really want this background to be transparent, but I just can't seem to get that to work, and I'm not really sure why, but I'm going to keep working on it, hopefully get it done and working before lunch, and hopefully it will end up looking pretty nice. So I was trying to fix the profile picture stuff, but I feel like I might have made the situation a bit worse. So I have now got everything to work with the new profile, and I've designed a new kind of look for it, which I'm pretty happy with. It's definitely an improvement over the last one, so that's good. And now I'm just going to do a few more things to do with the profiles for other players and other entities. So it's the end of another day, and as you can see I did manage to get the profiles working for other mobs and also other players as well. And I also added a couple of options into the entity editor to allow me to properly position the camera for these previews. Good morning everyone, it is 8:30 on Friday morning, and today I am of course just going to be doing the devlog. So I just started recording for the devlog, but unfortunately I seem to be having quite a few bad problems with the microphone, as you can hear. Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Game Development Log Video Diary, and this week So yeah, that's not great. So I just finished recording all the audio for the devlog. I managed to get my mic working, obviously by turning my computer off and on again. And I'm just editing it all together and starting to record some of the footage. And I also just put together the results from last week's poll, which is quite interesting. Sock1 winning by quite a bit there, which I guess I'm quite happy with. So I finished the devlog and I've uploaded it and done all the settings, and it is now ready to go. So it's the end of another week, and this evening I've just been answering emails and stuff. But on the devlog today, I got a fair bit of tough criticism about the graphics in the game, which was a bit disheartening. It was all totally fair and constructive criticism. It wasn't anything like mean or insulting, but it's painful to read that sort of feedback after I've spent so long and so much effort on the game. But of course, I'll try and take it into account what they've said, and I'll obviously try to improve it. And I have got a lot of graphical improvements planned before the Kickstarter, but I just hope it will be enough. You know, with the Kickstarter just 2.5 months away or something, there's only so much I can do, and it's scary to think that after all the work that I and other people have put into this game and all the time I've spent on it, that it could end up not being enough. So it's about 20 to 4 on Saturday now. I've just spent the whole day editing together this video that you're watching at the moment, and that's almost finished now and it will be ready to go in a couple of hours. So yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more updates and videos and pictures during the week, then you can follow me on any of my social media pages. I post on there pretty regularly. But yeah, thank you guys very, very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a really fantastic week, and I will see you all next time.